Mansoor, played by Sushant, was that one such character who kind of, took this entire thing of selflessness and love, and, uh, he was my person who kind of encompassed all the sacrifices that so many of, be our military forces, be the locals, be the yatris who kind of, helped each other out, and some people, could not even make it by because they went in to help others. So Mansoor was the embodiment of all of that, that ultimate sacrifice. These are facts, that one is like researching, and my rational brain is kind of wondering, how is this even possible that, at that particular time, this entire piece of stone has
Boulder
come,
came and
this
yeah.
boulder has come, and, it's dry, blocked the entire flow of water, and, is protecting the temple, and the temple is the only thing that's standing.
Yeah.
When you face a natural calamity or when you face death, these religious identities, being a Hindu or a Muslim, being a upper caste or lower caste, nothing really matters. Mukku comes from that society, and what does Mukku do? Father says that, you're supposed to get married to this guy. She feels that, in Kedarnath, she feels that, but he's my sister's
Ex-fiance or
ex-fiance, and she says, I will not take it lying down. She says, why should I accept everything that you're putting on me just because you're my father?
You have written some very successful films. The most recent ones, of course, being Kedarnath and Man Marzia. What is the onus on a storyteller today in India? What is the responsibility you feel towards society? Or are we all here to entertain?
Oh, absolutely not. Entertainment alone is definitely not something that I think we should be looking at. And I think lately, most of the writers and storytellers are not going down that path. The whole purpose of storytelling, I feel, is to entertain plus to give something for us to think about. So I feel that entertainment and what is the purpose and why are we telling a story and what is the value that we get out of it is very intrinsically like related. The reason why I wanted to tell Kedarnath, how we have such a deep rooted this identity with that we have this caste related identities, we have religion related identities, unfortunately, which we have not been able to shed. Who you are is unfortunately defined by what religion you come from. Being a Hindu or a Muslim changes perspectives, changes lives, changes attitudes in certain places.
Right.
Sometimes your life depends on it. So, we have different kinds of Indias that we're living in where, depending on which area and which socioeconomic, space you're in, these identities will matter less or more. So, in Kedarnath, I wanted to go to a place where, it really mattered. It really, being a Hindu or a Muslim defined who you are, who you interact with, who you can be with, who you can love, who you cannot love, some very basic things. So that's why I wanted to tell Kedarnath. And the most important thing was that, ultimately, when you face a natural calamity or when you face death, these religious identities, being a Hindu or a Muslim, being a upper caste or lower caste, nothing really matters. Ultimately, we're all going to die the same way and we're all going to go to the same place. So, I think especially in the current times that we're going through in this country, there's just so much unrest, there's so much polarization, there's this atmosphere of a lot of divisive kind of narratives. I felt Kedarnath needed to be told. And I would really applaud my producers, my director, Abhishek Kapoor, the actors, to come out in this kind of an environment, the kind of environment we have in the country today, where if you say anything which goes against the narrative of the majority of people, you are deemed anti-national, and then you're called names, and it's so difficult to express an opinion which is perhaps different from the majority.
Sure.
So I think it is a very important film given the current times that we're in, and I'm very proud of it. And I do take this onus very seriously of trying to tell relevant stories, telling stories for a reason, with a certain kind of a sensibility, which kind of interacts and which kind of gives you a sense of the times that we're living in. Because I also believe as an artist, you can't be living out of the society. You can't, because you engage with the conditions that are around you, and that's where art and that's where thoughts and that's where ideas kind of will always emerge from.
But Kanika, you know, Kedarnath was about a very recent event. In fact, I had gone to Kedarnath just 1 year before the floods. And so many people that were affected by it are still alive today. Did you feel, what was your thought process when writing it? You know, when people who were victimized by that tragedy, you know, how did you stay sensitive about their emotions and making sure that you were not trivializing what they went through?
You know, let me just start from the beginning. You know, writing Kedarnath was such an overwhelming process because when I started researching about that incident and event, you know, of course, all of us had heard about it and seen it on our television sets, the kind of destruction and the kind of despair. But when I dug deeper into the actual happenings of what really happened, you know, I was so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because this level of destruction and, you know, why it happened, the way people were affected, and the whole miracle of it all, you know, that how the temple was standing, you know, there was so many. I just couldn't fathom that, you know, how these things happened the way they did, the way, you know, our military kind of went in to help people. You know, there's so much. There were examples of bravery, selflessness, miracle, faith. You know, how that entire Hanuman Katila came and stood, and these are facts. You know, that one is like researching. And my rational brain is kind of wondering, how is this even possible that, you know, at that particular time this entire piece of stone has come, this boulder has come, and, you know, it's blocked the entire flow of water, and, you know, is protecting the temple, and the temple is the only thing that's standing.
Yeah.
And of course that this is huge tragedy and people losing their loved ones. So there were so many conflicting emotions that one had to kind of, see and deal with and all that. So it was very overwhelming. The research of it was really, really overwhelming. And then when I kind of, took in everything and, my process of research and taking in all the information, everything was over, then I asked myself that, what would I want to focus on? You know, yes, there's this tragedy and there's this destruction and there's this despair and there's all of it, and, there's the unparalleled misery. You're losing your loved ones, families have been wiped out, and I can't tell you, when you're reading about it and when you're immersed in it, it's palpable the way the loss and the pain of it. But then I consciously thought that, do I want to revisit that? Would I want to invite all these people to come and watch this story? Should it be about fate, or should it be about pain? Should it be about death and destruction, or should it be about all of us coming together? And I chose to go the other way, because I know there was loss and there was devastation, but there was also there's a lot of selflessness. So there's always a choice that we have, that what would we want to focus on. And Mansoor, played by Sushant, was that one such character who kind of took this entire thing of selflessness and love, and he was my person who kind of encompassed all the sacrifices that so many of be our military forces, be the locals, be the yatris who kind of helped each other out, and some people could not even make it by because they went in to help others. So Mansoor was the embodiment of all of that ultimate sacrifice for the others, and that's what I wanted to capture, because that was something that stood out.
Yeah. Kanika, what does feminism mean to you?
So for me, the ability to exercise choice is the most important facet of feminism today, and it will be defined by the kind of environment we're in. What is the socioeconomic condition that we're in? Now, for a tier town girl to be able to decide to spend her life with the man that she loves, that is a huge deal, because even today we have, in Delhi we had that incident where a boy was murdered.
Sure.
Just because, they were in love. And these are recent times, these are the times that we're living in. So the sheer ability to be able to go up and say that I would want to marry a boy that I like versus somebody that you've chosen for me, I would say exercising that choice is also feminism. Now coming to Mukku from Kedarnath. Now she lives in a temple town. What in what possible way can I give her this whole thought of exercising her choice? In what possible way all these girls who are watching this film, who are living in these small towns, in what possible way can we manifest that, use your brains, follow your heart, do not be dictated to, you do not need to be subservient to a patriarchal system. Now, those are the very relevant questions to those girls and women who are watching this. And Mukku comes from that society. And what does Mukku do? Father says that, you're supposed to get married to this guy. She feels that, in Kedarnath, she feels that, but he's my sister's
Ex-fiance or
ex-fiance. And she says, I will not take it lying down. She says, why should I accept everything that you're putting on me just because you're my father? And we as girls are taught to respect authority, especially parents, father, mother, whatever they say, it's for our best, it's in our best interest, but maybe not, Maybe what they're thinking may not be the best thing for us, and they could be wrong too. So the fact that this girl challenges that she's not taking it lying down, that she expresses her displeasure and she makes sure that she expresses it in a way that makes them uncomfortable. I thought, that was not a subservient character at all. Now, should I make Mukku carry tiffin and go and join a company in a temple town? I think that would be bizarre.
Yeah.
So, given the reality of where my characters are set, I think that especially my female characters, they are not afraid of speaking their mind, and they exercise choices, and that is the best way to empower not only our own characters, but in life, that's the thing that I would want to see. That's the kind of a society that I would want to kind of be in, where women can exercise their choices without being judged, without being questioned. And I'm not just saying, in villages and small towns, I'm saying even in urban sectors, career women should be able to say that, what, we don't want to work, we want to sit at home.
Right.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
That was really the seed of why I wrote that open letter, on Padmavat.
Yeah.
So I do feel that, you can't pretend, you can't be tone deaf to your context. I know this because of my involvement in Ranjana. And I know that the team of Ranjana had no intention whatsoever of glorifying stalking. While we were shooting Ranjana, Nirbhaya case had happened. I remember this so vividly. We were in Banaras when that had happened. And the film released in June, I think. And in those 6 months, discourse in India had changed because of the Nirbhaya case.